I use Upwork quite a bit in terms of hiring contractors to help me finish work when I just don't have the bandwidth to get to it. And I've used it for years, and this is by far the worst part of the customer experience, in my opinion, in terms of when you're hiring contractors. So, when you hire a contractor, you put out a job, and then people put out their proposals, and then you hire them based on what their proposal is. And I understand that sometimes maybe there is some confusion, or maybe the person kind of misinterpreted what the work is. So maybe they underbid it in that respect. But here's the problem for me. If you hire someone, or you put out an offer, someone puts out a proposal, and you say, I want to hire them. At that point in time, they have to come back, even though the terms are according to what they set in terms of pay, etc., because it's based on their proposal. And they have to come back and double back and accept the job. So in other words, I say, hey, well, let me give you this particular example. In this particular example, I said that I have a project that is for a fixed amount of $300, and I allowed people to put in or submit their proposals. And in this case, as you could see, this person went ahead and they put in a proposed bid of $150. So after reviewing all the applicants, I decided that I wanted to hire them. So I said, hire this freelancer. And then at that point in time, it's still not a done deal. They have to come back and they have to say, oh, okay, I actually want to abide by the proposal that I put in. And which is a little weird to me because I put out this RFP and they said, I can do it for this much. And I said, oh, okay, that sounds good. Now they have to come back and say, oh, I really mean it? And if they want to go, Upwork wants to go that route, then that's fine. But the biggest part of the customer experience that I have is that if they bail, or if they decide not to abide by what their proposal was, there's no repercussions for them. I can't leave a review for them saying that this was a bad experience. So let me walk you through this. I'll continue walking you through this. So what happened was, and this is by no means just on this particular freelancer. It's a common, unfortunately, a very common experience that I've had with Upwork. And I'm sure that the reason they do it is because it's going to diminish the ratings and the reviews of freelancers like this. And when those ratings get dinged, people won't want to hire them. And that's going to kind of expose the flaw in Upwork's system and this deficiency. So I put this out there. I said, okay, I want to hire this guy. And then he comes back and says, oh, $150 is not really the amount that I meant. I meant something like $150 per hour. And I was like, what? And like I said, this is not an uncommon experience. Oftentimes what people will do is they'll come in here and they'll put in a proposal, and then I'll hire them, quote unquote. I'll hire this freelancer, and then they'll come back and say, oh, can we meet? I want to understand the requirements. But I put in the requirements at the outset. They had their opportunity to ask questions before they submit a proposal. So it ends up being just a massive waste of time, because you put this posting out, you review the people, you hire them, then after further correspondence, you figure out, oh, they were just joking, or this wasn't actually, excuse me, really a proposal. It was just a way where they could see if they could shoehorn you into a deal. And so it's just a huge waste of time. And so I have to go through this whole exercise again and repeat until I find somebody who is true to their word. If I go here, you could see this is my original job post. It's for a fixed price for $300. That's very clear in Upwork. When you're posting a job, it says fixed price, or is this hourly? So it could be a variable. And I'm not new to this rodeo. In terms of Upwork, I've posted 62 jobs. I hire 96% of the time. And I've been on, let's see, probably close to a decade. So I really hate this part of Upwork because this happens so often to me. because people come in here, they put in these quote unquote proposals, you quote unquote hire them, and then I have to go back and then they say, oh, just kidding. And, in this case, look, this is a top rated plus um, contractor. That means that this is the highest rating that Upwork could give them. But I 100% guarantee you that this is part of their game. This is part of this freelancer strategy. They do this repeatedly. I'm not the first one that they've done this to. And yet there was no way for me to see that this is something that they often do through this person's ratings, because it doesn't get reflected there, because since they didn't accept they didn't accept what their own proposal was that they submitted, because that's really what it was. They submitted a proposal and I said, that's a good proposal, I agree. And then they said, no, I don't agree with the proposal I submitted. Since there's no way I could see that, there's no way that I would have known that this could happen. And like I said, I'm 1000% sure Upwork is doing this on purpose to increase their business. It just, quite frankly, it pisses me off as part of the experience. So, in my opinion, once you hire someone, it should be that the deal is on at this point because they submitted their proposal and I'm just accepting what, they offered me. And at that point in time, I should be able to leave a review. Or I guess the alternative is once I say I want to hire this person, I should be able to leave a review, because this is just a bad experience. Like I said, there's no repercussions to stop people from doing this behavior. And obviously they do it like all the time, especially people that don't read requirements, don't actually understand what the scope is. And they say, oh, I could do it for this much off of no basis, because they never even read the requirements. It's to the point where basically what I often do is I put an attachment on there that goes in detail on the requirements that I want. And somewhere within that document, I put in, when you put your proposal, copy and paste this sentence in there. And this sentence is something like, I have fully read the requirements and understand them and can comply. And if they don't lead in with that copy and paste sentence that I put in there, I know they didn't read it. But see, that's a precautionary measure I have to put in because I've got burned so many times. And it really shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't, not from a customer experience standpoint. So I guess all this to say, in part, if you're a buyer on Upwork, be wary of the process, be wary of what their rankings, what the feedback says for a person, because that's not everyone who's hired them. It's only the people where they have went ahead and accepted their own proposal that they submitted. It sounds so stupid for me to say it that way, but that's what it is. They submit a proposal, I agreed with the proposal, and then it's up to them to confirm their own proposal that they submitted. So yeah, they have a ways to go in terms of their customer experience, because this is a crucial part of their purchase experience, and they know it.